All right, traders, welcome to today's recap. This is Christian from Trade Trade Group, and it is Wednesday, April 26th. So a couple quick themes for the day and for the week. Obviously we have a lot more names reporting after the close, Meta for one, and a bunch of other names. And that is really what this week is all about, is a lot of names reporting earnings. The bigger names, I have to say, I'm surprised, are doing a pretty good job. Surprised to see. I think Meta's up about 10% after hours, following some nice moves by Microsoft as well. So risk disclaimer in front of you: everything that we're going through is for information purpose only, not giving out any advice or recommendations. Please read the full risk disclaimer right there. Here are some of those movers. Yeah, you can see Meta's right now up 10%. You could see a couple other things. To ServiceNow reported. Are they still up? They should be up, but maybe they're giving back some of those gains. I think the CEO will be on CNBC tomorrow morning. Roku also, I think, was up about 5 or 6%, so giving back some of those gains, but still up 3% for the session. So you could see a couple other ones. Teladoc. On the downside for after the close, you've got a couple names that are down pretty decently. PI is down 18%. I saw it down 20%, but it's a little bit off those lows, but they missed their estimate. And you could see a few other names in there too. If you got Wolfspeed, which is down. Align, I think, went positive to negative. All right, so again, these are all aftermarket movers. Pins is up and Snap is up on the back of Meta, so you got a little bit of pin action for those names. But that's the story in terms of after hours. Here's ServiceNow right now. I brought that up, 462. Meta, again, impressive. And I think as well, one of the things that we talked about going into this this earnings cycle is that expectations have been brought in for some of these companies too. So 231, I'm on the 1 hour chart. Let's see if we can find some resistance on the chart. No, and it looks like, we found support here. So 231 will kind of get you back up to there. Very close to the top of value for the year. Microsoft, by the way, we could talk about them. They almost took out that 300 VPOC. It's just surprising to me to see such a move up 7%. So one of the things, if we could look at Google too, which I don't think actually ended, just basically flat for the session. But if you look at the day's advancers, right, this was actually, once again, you can kind of see the theme that I've got drawn up here. Q's outperform. Looks like I left off VM there. Outperform, but again, a difficult trading environment. I would say deterioration as the day went on. Even though today was a little bit different than yesterday, we finished off the lows, but again, no conviction right now in this market. And so the breadth for the day, and you could see on the bottom left of your screen, which looks at, of course, up volume versus down volume, not good. The Dow had 25 decliners, 5 advancers. The S&P had 408 decliners today, right? So, what's the expression? A rising tide lifts all boats. I don't think we had that today. Even though one of the bigger names out there, is masking some of the weakness under the hood in this situation for today, with 408 decliners in the S&P and only 94 advancers. Let's look at a couple charts here. I can bring up as well what the equally weighted indices are doing here too, but this was another down day for the S&P, and again, giving back those early gains in the this morning. So we're coming back into the 50-day moving average. We do have a little bit of confluence of support here: 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average, top of value. So we'll see if that can kind of halt the slide a little bit, but you know, you can see definitely the price action is below those short-term moving averages, which for me is a sign of short-term weakness. So we'll see, you know, and we only have a couple more days of April. If we kind of, you know, continue to kind of be around these levels in the next 2 days, we're going to open up the new month below value. Note that we did that back in February as well. Excuse me, March. Right, and March was a tough month for the first half. Right, this is what we did. You know, we rallied in the beginning, and then broke down a little bit. So I'm not sure if that outcome is going to happen again. But right now, we're most likely going to open up below the value area versus inside or above. Right, so that's S&P. Qs. You know, I think you could see I've got this these two trend lines drawn in here. I probably can shorten those up. But you know, this is infringing on the Qs, are infringing on the top of value. You know, again, did squeak out some gains today, and probably will be doing okay in this aftermarket, considering Meta and some of the names it's lifting. But here's the situation that we have, right? Is, you know, another, you know, today was another lower high. So that's the pattern for now. Again, this is, you know, super short term is what we're looking at over the last week, but we have a definitive pattern here in the fact that we're making lower highs and not a lower low today, but you know, maybe we're settling in here, and we'll see if this can kind of turn things. But again, not all great reports, not great breadth today. So, you know, I think stay tuned. You know, when we're going through situations like this, where it's more difficult markets, where more names are going down than up, try to trade a bit less. You could see there wasn't really one area of the market that, you know, really went up more than, I'm not going to count the pot stocks because there's such a small group, but there was not one group that went up, you know, more than 0.5% after the open today. So again, a lot of distribution. You could see how many names. Again, this column, by the way, is changed versus the open, so that you could see whether there was strength or weakness. And you know, once again, the way that the pattern has been going for all of April is that we start up in the beginning of the day, like a gap up type day, it gets sold, and that's kind of what we dealt with today as well. All right, guys, that's it for the recap for today. You know, again, you know, pace yourself in terms of knowing that this is a very, very big week of earnings. Next week will be that way too. And then plus we have the Fed meeting on the 3rd of the month. All right, guys, have a great night. See you tomorrow.